one of the number one reasons businesses fail or get stagnant is that the founder gets in the way. Most people that start a business say, I want to grow this business and scale it. But that's not necessarily the case. Sometimes people say they want to grow and scale a business, but they really just want a job that they can control. Because a lot of people that are growing a business, the hurdle and the obstacle that they hit is self-created. They get in their own way, meaning they don't hire, they don't build systems correctly, and so they end up being the roadblock. So when I started this business, I knew that we wanted to grow it, somewhat conservatively, somewhat aggressively, but I knew that at a certain point, I can't do everything myself. I can't be the best at every single aspect of the business. And so I identified the areas that I needed help with. I identified my weaknesses. I'm really good at sales and business development. I'm really good at strategy, but when it comes to the financial aspect of it and doing the day-to-day bookkeeping, I'm not good at that. I can't be out on site making decisions every day, so then I had to hire somebody at a project manager level to handle all the day-to-day aspects of the construction. So now that we've built a team, I still control the strategy and make high-level strategy decisions, but I'm removed from the day-to-day business in terms of swinging hammers and actual work getting done on site, because I would get in the way and I would inhibit our growth. And I think a lot of times business owners and founders don't realize that. They want to stay involved. They definitely hire people. They don't trust people. They don't build systems that help multiple people work together efficiently. They just lack that ability to build an organization. And so they grow, they work really hard, and then they start hitting these obstacles and these ceilings where they don't know what's going on. People aren't operating correctly, they're making mistakes. You're neglecting certain parts of the business because there's only 24 hours in the day, you can't do everything yourself, and they get discouraged and businesses start to decline. Growing a business is way easier than reducing and scaling back a business. Trying to shrink a business is way harder and way more painful than it is to continue to grow a business. And so I think one of the main things that business owners need to do is ask themselves, do I really want to grow a business? Because if I do, that means people and systems. Or do I just want to maintain a small business that I can control every aspect of it and run it as kind of a solo operator? And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's two different things. So it's definitely figuring out, what do you really want at the end of the day?